Ever since Alamein, we had been more or less in constant touch with the enemy. I had the honour to command the Maori battalion. On Christmas Eve, I pondered about tomorrow. Christmas Day was a sacred day. I decided if its sanctity were to be violated, it would not be by the Maori battalion. I therefore told my troops that in no circumstance were shots to be fired except in self-defense. I felt sure that the Germans would rationalize things in the same way. We all expected a cheerless kind of Christmas, deep in enemy territory, far from supply bases, and after all, in war, ammunition and petrol are more important than special tucker for Christmas. We expected the usual hard rations of the last 2 months, bully beef and dog biscuits. But like a miracle, things began to happen. Vehicle after vehicle arrived with special supplies. By Christmas Day, we had such luxuries as fresh pork, potatoes, tinned fruits, cigarettes, and General Montgomery's promised 1 bottle of beer for every man. But alas, a special consignment of mutton birds from our kinsfolk back home fell into German hands. The Germans from then on derided the Kiwis as uncivilized consumers of salted seagulls. On Christmas Day, we held an early church parade, and away in the distance, we could see a concentration of German troops. They too were probably having their own church service on this holy day. Preparing Christmas dinner was underway when we struck a problem: how to make a hangi without rounded stones and wood to heat them. These things just didn't exist in the desert. Some bright spark, however, pointed out where there's a beach, there's bound to be stones and driftwood. The Mediterranean coastline was only about 10 miles to the north of us, so why not send trucks up to carry out a reconnaissance? We did, cruising off through enemy territory, and collected not only stones and driftwood, but 4 German prisoners as well, surprised and captured while bathing in the nude in the cool Mediterranean waters. Needless to say, we made them stay to share our Christmas dinner with us. For puha or rauriki, our foragers gathered up some kind of a weed in one of the moist wadis close by. Plant life in the desert is rare. This stuff smelt like nothing on earth, but into the boiling pots this desert greenery went, stalks and all. Incredibly, nobody suffered afterwards. Around 1 o'clock, the hangis were uncovered, and there at Nephilia, thousands of miles from our homes and from our civilization, we sat down in the desert sun to one of the most sumptuous and memorable Christmas celebrations I have ever shared in. At least for that one day, there was peace and content amongst friend and foe alike.